Pilate said unto them, What shall I do then with Jesus, which is called Christ? They all said unto him, Let him be crucified. And the governor said, Why, what evil has he done? But they cried out the more, saying, Let him be crucified. When Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but that rather a tumult was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person. See you to it. Then answered all the people and said, His blood be on us and our children. Then released he Barabbas unto them. And when he had scorned Jesus, he delivered him to be crucified. Then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the common hall and gathered unto him the whole band of soldiers. And they stripped him and put him a scarlet robe. And when they had planted a crown of thorns, they put it on his head, and a reed in his right hand. And they bowed and kneeled before him, and mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews! And they spit upon him, and took the reed, and smote him in the head. And after that they had mocked him, they took the robe off of him, and put his own raiment on him, and led him away to crucify him. And as they came out, they found a man of Cyrene, Simon by name. Him they compelled to bear his cross. And when they were come unto the place called Golgotha, that is to say, a place of skulls, they gave him vinegar to drink, mingled with gall. And when he had tasted thereof, he would not drink. And they crucified him, and parted his garments, casting lots, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet. They parted my garments among them, and upon my vesture did they cast lots. And sat down they which him, and watched him there, and set up over his head his accusations written, This is Jesus, the King of the Jews. You know, it says in John, even after the people got what they wanted, they still weren't satisfied. Because in John it tells us that they did not want the sign to read that. They wanted it to read that he claimed he was the King of the Jews. You know, even when the devil gets what he wants, he's still not satisfied. He never will be. As I read all of this, you know, I was thinking about the love of Christ. All that he went through. From the mocking, to the physical beating, to the just severe torture that he went through. You know, with the cat o' nine tails, that was just meant basically just to rip you apart. He went through so much for us. And I wonder how many of us would go through something. You know, I can remember back when I was in high school, I picked a fight with a kid because he'd spit on my new cowboy boots. You know, I'm the associate pastor of this church, and I would like to stand here and tell you if a man come up and spit in my face and hit me, that I'd turn around and walk off. But I don't know that. That just goes to show you what kind of love God had for us. Later on, starting in verse 41, says, likewise also the chief priest mocked him with the scribes and elders, saying, he saved others from himself. He cannot save himself, he cannot save. If he be the king of Israel, let him come down from the cross, and we will believe in him. He trusted in God, let him deliver him now, if he will have him, for he said, I am the Son of God. You know, after everything they had put him through, all the beatings, you know, I've heard preachers say, and I don't know that it's true, but I've heard them say that he was beaten so bad that they couldn't even hardly recognize him. And if the Passion of Christ movie is anything like the real thing, which I don't think it could even come close to what really happened, as horrible as it is to watch that show for me, I don't see how they could keep torturing him. I don't see how they could keep doing to him what they were doing. Even after they had won and had him up on the cross, they were still mocking him, still making fun of him, when all he ever did was love everybody. You know, I don't know why God wanted this message tonight, but he does. Somebody needs to hear this. In John 15 and 13, greater love has no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friend. You know, it's in the Bible, so I know it's true. I know that I know. But to me, in my mind's eye, it would be much easier for me to lay down my life for somebody that I know and that I love than somebody that I don't know. You know, and it plainly says there, for someone, for his friends. That's somebody that they know. And after all of that, everything that they did, you know, Don was talking about, and I'm not going to get it right, the agape love, the ultimate love. This is where that love falls into place. Not so much that he gave his life, also that he gave his life, but as he gave his life, in Luke 23:34, then said Jesus, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And they parted his remnants and cast lots. You know, it's one thing for somebody to spit in your face and slap you and torture you beyond being able to be recognized, then nail you to a tree and sit there and joke and mock at you until you die. And it's one thing not to fight back, But then for you to be there on that cross and asking the Lord above to forgive them for what they're doing to you. To me, that takes a special kind of love. And to me, that kind of love was never more reverent to me than the night my son was born. You know, my daughter, she holds a special place in my heart. I love her to death. And I was never more proud than the night she was born. I sat there all night long holding her. You know, Ray said, "You want me to take her for a while?" And I said, "You've had her for 9 months. I've got her tonight." She slept on me. The nurses didn't even like it, but she slept on me in the recliner, right on my chest. But when Alex was born, there was something different. And believe it or not, but that 6'3" boy fit right there. You know. And I was sitting there for the first time when I was holding him. I was sitting there, and tears started rolling down my cheeks. And Ray looked at me and she goes, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I don't deserve him." And she goes, "You're the daddy. I can guarantee it." And I said, "Well, thank you for the confirmation, but that's not what I'm talking about." I said, "You know, I appreciate the reassurance there, but," I said, "No." I said, looking at him for the first time in my life, I understand, and I don't understand at the same time, the kind of love God has for me. Because I'm sitting here looking at my son that I'm holding. How did God send his son to die for me? I'm not worthy. There is a special God in heaven that sent his son down for me. And there's a special son in heaven that came down here and went through what he went through for me. And each and every one of y'all. You know, I don't know what everybody's going through tonight, but I know God has a special kind of love for each and every one of us. He's already showed it. He's proven it. It's up to us to continue to show him how much we love him. And not only him, but each other. You know, it did me good to hear what Brother Jerry said. You know, I'm so proud of our church that it doesn't matter if somebody leaves. If they've come back, they're still welcome here. You know, they're loved just like they were the first time they come through that door. They're not treated any different. And I'm so proud of our church. And I'm so unworthy. You know, Jesus, he paid the ultimate sacrifice for each and every one of us. And no matter how long I serve him, I will never be able to pay him back. Brother Don?